Welcome everyone to our YouTube channel. Today is 15 August. Before we talk about our hottest news on the pitch today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell in order to receive the latest news from us.
New York lawmakers suspend Cuomo impeachment investigation. New York State lawmakers will hold the impeachment investigation against New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who resigned this week and will leave office on August 25th, State Assembly Speaker Cole Hasty announced on Friday afternoon. In a statement, Hasty said Cuomo's resignation effectively eliminated the central question of the road, whether Governor Cuomo should remain in office, and that Judiciary Committee Chairman Charles Levin advised him. With the guidance of counsel and the state constitution does not authorize the legislature to impeach and remove an elected official who is no longer in office. The decision caught a number of Democratic lawmakers off guard and did not sit well with many of Cuomo's critics in and outside of the government, who had called on the assembly to continue its impeachment process even after the three-term governor stepped down. Hasty in his statement said that the investigation turned up incredible evidence not only related to sexual harassment allegations against Cuomo, but also the misuse of state resources in relation to the publication of the governor's memo, as well as improper and misleading disclosure of nursing home data during the COVID-19 pandemic. This evidence, we believe, could likely have resulted in articles of impeachment had he not resigned, Hasty said. He also noted that Cuomo still faced a ticket of potential legal woes, pointing to federal, state, and local investigations, 5 of them into issues ranging from Cuomo's use of public resources. In the writing of his 2020 memo to the executives on the reporting of COVID-19 deaths in nursing homes and the sexual misconduct allegations that most directly triggered his departure. Cuomo told the New York Magazine in an interview published Friday night that he thought he would win an impeachment trial, but didn't want to embarrass lawmakers on the state. "I'm not going to drag the state through the mud, through a 3-month, 4-month impeachment and then win, and have made the state legislature and the state government look like a ship of fools, when everything I'd done for my life was for the exact opposite. I'm not doing that. I feel good. I'm not a martyr. It's just I saw the options, option A, option B," Cuomo said in the interview. The governor's suggestion that he would win runs against the reality that caused him to resign. An overwhelming number of state assembly members who were prepared to impeach him, and the state senate that was expected to convene and remove him after a trial. Cuomo also told the magazine he was feeling philosophical after the announcement earlier this week and that he didn't know what he was going to do when he leaves office. But he indicated that the political world had not heard the last of him. Lieutenant Gov Kathy Hochul will replace Cuomo in 12 days, and though he sought to distance herself from the outgoing governor at the Wednesday news conference, demurred when asked whether he wanted the impeachment process to continue. "I have been in this business long enough to know that it's not the purview of the New York State government to dictate the New York State Assembly or to Judiciary Committee on what actions they should take next with respect to anything," Hochul said, particularly impeachment. A spokesperson for Hochul reiterated that view on Friday, saying, "It was ultimately up to the Assembly and the Lieutenant Governor respect their decision." Cuomo has denied all of the allegations against him, saying he never touched anyone inappropriately, but acknowledged that some of his behavior made others uncomfortable. A message he delivered again in his resignation speech on Tuesday, as he depicted his decision as one made for the benefit of the state. "Given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing," Cuomo said in remarks on New York City. "That's what I would do." Cuomo did not immediately respond to the request for comment on the decision. Despite the governor's claims that the investigation has been biased against him, the breadth and readability of the report released last week by State Attorney General Letitia Trimstein, which found that he had sexually harassed 11 women, made his position untenable. with the Democratic leaders all the way up to President Joe Biden calling for him to go. Some leading progressives had called on the assembly to follow through with its impeachment work despite Cuomo's announcement this week, in part because of his formal conviction even after leaving could potentially prevent him from running for office in the future. Resignation is not accountability, New York Working Families Party Director Sochi and Monica said in a statement on Tuesday, and we urge the legislature to continue with impeachment proceedings so that Andrew Cuomo is never again elevated to the position of power. Has this announcement caught Assembly Judiciary Committee member Pew Sturck by surprise? He said he was not aware of the decision to suspend his investigation and that there has been no meeting of the Assembly Democratic Majority Conference. No conversation among the entire Assembly Judiciary Committee since the governor announced his resignation on Tuesday. I think the full Democratic majority should have had a discussion of the issue. I'm sure the Speaker knows that many of us would feel that way, Sturck said. I feel like I did the right thing, Cuomo tells Mac in the first interview since resignation. I'm not disappearing, I have a voice, I have perspective, and that's not gonna change, Cuomo said. In Andrew Cuomo's first interview since announcing his resignation earlier this week, the New York governor said he didn't want to drag the state through a months-long impeachment investigation only to win. I feel like I did the right thing. I did the right thing for the state. Cuomo told the New York Magazine of his decision to resign. I'm not going to drag the state through the mud, through a 3-month, 4-month impeachment and then win, and have made the state legislation and the state government look like a ship of fools. He remained he couldn't put the New York through that process when his life work was the exact opposite. I'm not a martyr, it's just I saw the options, option A, option B, he said. Cuomo on Tuesday announced he would step down effective August 24th in response to growing pressure to resign and face impeachment amid the release of a report that he would sexually harass nearly a dozen women. The New York State Assembly suspended its investigation into Cuomo on Friday. The purpose of the Assembly Judiciary Committee's impeachment investigation was to determine whether Governor Cuomo should remain in office. The governor's resignation answers that prerogative, Speaker Cohasty Debron said Friday. Cuomo's immediately plans, like where he will now live, are uncertain. The governor's only residence in recent years had been the Albany governor's mansion. Cuomo told the magazine he didn't know what he was going to do. I'm not disappearing, I have a voice, I have perspective, and that's not going to change. Cuomo said, and the details aren't really that important to me to tell you the truth. You know, I'm a New Yorker, I live here, I live in Queens, I live in the city, I live upstate, I live everywhere. I came to Washington, so thus, I don't really care about it. I figured that out. I think I did the right.
Thank you for watching. If it's exciting, please leave a comment, hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out the latest news from us.